How long have you guys kept the Patreon number secret?
4 years now.
Okay, so they've been secret 4 years.
We've kept them private, not secret.
Okay, I mean, I've asked you directly for them. You said no.
Yeah, for you, no way.
You whispered to Mel, and 24 hours later, it's all over the internet.
I don't know how to answer that other than...
Does that seem shady to you?
No.
No red flag. And after the meeting, the numbers leaked.
Yes, they did.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod.
What the heck is going on right now? The JBN is on an absolute tear. Absolute tear. They had the makeup pod. We got the Patreon that we didn't receive on Monday because they dropped Podwise. That went crazy. We got the Nori Patreon episode today. We got the Ian and Marc show today. They're going crazy. Don't let us get a pod tomorrow for Patreon and an episode for Saturday. Tell me they're taking the fourth off because they're going crazy. And the chemistry's been top tier. I'm not even going to hold you. But let's talk on the Ian and Marc show. They're trying to make it seem like those leaked numbers were fake. First, before I get into that, I love what they're starting to do with the Ian and Marc show because they're starting to tie in all the storylines from the community on Patreon, YouTube, JBTV community, all the people that are building communities. They're starting to use all the plot lines and storylines, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Now, it's going to be extremely hard to tell the difference between real and kayfabe, I think, facade. We don't know. So that's going to make channels like this even more important to be able to decipher. I don't think those numbers were fake. I don't care what story they say. I don't care how they fudged the numbers and created it before the leak. I don't care. It motivated me to start my own Patreon. I'll tell you that much. But shout out to the direction that Ian and Marc is going. Hey, another one of the predictions that I made a long time ago, channel or the catalog is full of these type of videos. Still up, I want to say it's 9 months ago. I predicted that they're going to start doing out of the basement, out of the studio content. And I said once they go outside, it's going to change the perception of the show. And sure enough, Marc came. I'm going to take us outside. I already have multiple local businesses that I'm going to bolster up solely by being on this platform. We've been to the bakery shop. We've gotten coffee. We've gotten something to eat. Now we're at the barber shop. We already showcased my bookstore. I'm just putting us on, and we have not just been in the studio. And eventually, they are going to segue. We might get a BTS show tomorrow. Hell, I don't know. But eventually, they're going to segue, and it's going to be the Ian and Marc show, and then it's just going to be BTS. But they are absolutely going production high, quality value with this show. They're looking for networks with this show. This is going to be the one that expands the brand. And it may sound like I'm overhyping it, but I think it's so dope that they're including and intertwining all the storylines that have possibilities and are just complete conjecture at this point. But they get spoke on enough to have force behind them, to have legs underneath them. So they're just putting it into everything that ties into the JBP is getting tied into the JBP, and I think it's a genius idea. I think it's a genius play. Just dropped 2 hours ago. It's to the point where you constantly have to check their Patreon. Everything is leaning towards the Patreon. So y'all can think those numbers were fudged all you want. But, quiet thing, or quiet as kept, the more you look over those quote-unquote leaked numbers, the more it makes sense that those numbers are fudged. Unless his conversion rate isn't as high as he would like us to believe it is. Because if you have 154,000 active members and you're only receiving 900,000, that's like $6-7 per member. That means the vast majority of them are free, and then the rest are paying the $10 and $25 tier, or the vast majority of them are $5 members. And I don't think that's the case. So I really don't know what to believe. Do I think the leak was actually uncovered? Yes, because we've seen the video of it happening in real time. But it could be possible that the numbers that were underneath the blackout are fake. So I don't know. I'm so hyped that it's just content for days. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe this, man. 35 minutes. I feel like they've gotten the time limit down packed. 35, 40 minutes. If they come out with 2 Ian and Marc episodes a day, because they're putting every single one of these on YouTube. That's how I know Joe know this is a hit. They're putting every single one on YouTube, and every single one is starting to ascend. When they first started putting them on YouTube, they were getting 30,000 views, and now I'm starting to see 60, 70, and 80,000. Don't let Joe see 100K on each episode going forward. It's going to go through the roof. It's going to go through the roof. I won't even know what to say going forward. But I'm glad that they're doing outdoor content. Eventually, more of the cast is going to have to participate more towards this show because it's scripted. We can kind of conduct how it goes. All you have to do is move around. You don't just have to sit in one spot. So it may seem like you're doing more work, but if you put more thought into it, it could be way less work with way more exposure. So I would be looking at the Ian and Marc show as the next ticket, the next segue out of here. Maybe we can transition out of just doing the pod because it's clear that's what the network is looking for. If the co-hosts contribute, they will exponentially raise their brand. And I'm enjoying this content push so much, I'm going to get more unfiltered thoughts off tonight on Patreon. Sorry for the selfless plug, but we're really finna run it up like they running it up. Why not? Shout out to JBN, shout out to Ian, shout out to having a vision and sticking with the vision. Although it seemed at times nobody was buying into the vision. I know Flip is kicking himself at night thinking about why did I go so wrong with improper improv too. Because what they're doing with the Ian and Marc show, Flip had tenfold already. I had a show centered solely around me to the point where I had creative control. But because we were butting heads so much and I didn't want them to have any part in it, we canceled it. So everything Marc is receiving, Flip had. And he can get it back. But right now, Flip is plexing with Joe. This is a real beef that they're having. And eventually, Flip's not going to be able to bite his tongue and he's going to let us know exactly what's going on. But that's something that we have to pay attention to. I appreciate y'all as always. Y'all go check out the latest episode of Ian and Marc show, man. It's a really good episode. The production's stepping up. Eventually, they're going to get the mics that you need for outdoor content. Everyone's going to be mic'd up. Eventually, they're going to get all of the co-hosts to buy in. They're not going to have to force them to be a part of it. It's just going to happen. But I have some underlying thoughts of what I really think is happening with Marc and Joe. Subscribe to the patreon.com/elevation. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon. Because if you subscribe through Apple, they're going to tax your behind. But I appreciate y'all. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know what it is. I'll see you on tomorrow. Peace.